Hello and welcome back we're live from the headquarters of the SAA, and we're going to be painting again, live again. So keep watching, anything could happen. I'm going to do your simple Seascape today, this afternoon, and minimal palette again. Literally dark colour, could be blue, Prussian blue, available, whatever. We've got a mountain mix, basically all the dark colours put together. So you've got a pile of small piles of lots of dark colours put together. You've got mountain mix. Got that. We've got a bit of blue. We've got a bit of brown, and white. A little bit of yellow, and I think that's pretty much it. We might use some other things. A bit of green there. We might use that if we get a doing in there. What I've done already, I've covered this with liquid white, so it's had a very thin, even coat of liquid white on there. So that allows us to blend to move paint on the canvas. Okay, so I'm going to get into that. So put that brush down. Going to pick up a clean 1-inch brush, and I'm going to go into the dark colour. I'm going to put my eyes on because I can't see a thing. Literally just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on there. Same again in the corners. Start in the corners because we want it dark in the corners. We want to lead the eye into the painting. So I'm literally going to come across there. Going down, if I leave an area, an open area, we're going to have a cloud in there somewhere. I'm going to come yet again down to about halfway with a horizon line. I know they said don't do that, but we've got bits and pieces up top down there, doesn't matter. I'm going to leave a little bit of an area for our sun. We're going to put a sun in this one, so I'm going to actually put a little bit of that in there. I'm just going to leave that sort of light area there. I will tint it. Yeah, because we don't want to leave it pure white. So I'm literally going to come along there. We want a bit of colour there because we're going to have a wave crashing there. We want a bit of colour behind it, so it's going to show against the canvas. So, sorry. Okay. He done it again. He changed me over. So, but I'm finding it better this way. Once I get used to it, I think this might be a better way. I'm getting hairs come off my brush. That's simply sorted out. Coming across there. You right there?
Oh, yeah.
Good, good, good. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down to about there. These areas that are white, basically, if I use the tip of that brush, because I've been giving it some of that, it's clean anyway. But if it wasn't, just wipe it on a paper towel. And I'm just literally going to swirl around in there just to tint a little bit of that colour there, so around here, just around the edge, on there, just a little bit of a tint of colour on there because we're going to put the sun in, and the sun's going to be white, so if it was on a white background, you wouldn't see it, so we want a little bit of something going on, okay? So, and you can blend, you can mess around as much as you like on that. We're going to put clouds in there. We're going to put that down. I said we're going to put a sun in, so we're going to use the brush that God gave us. Touch on there, and I literally turn to about the size of the sun I want. And then we're going to go about there. If you can't see nothing, I mean, I can see it there, it's there, but if you wanted it a bit brighter, all you do is go back in and add more. So roughly on there, twirl it around, not pressing hard. If I press too hard, it's just going to mush it in and we wouldn't see it. So something like that. That's all I need. Don't forget to wipe that because you don't know where you're going to put it. Okay. So what we're going to do, you're going to take a fan brush. There's a fan brush. Okay, fan brush. I'm going to go into my white, both sides. The wiggle and jiggle, as I pull it towards me, wiggle and jiggle, binds the bristles together, swipe the corners, because we're going to use the corners of the brush. Now, if I want a bit of a cloud up there, twirly, 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 twirly. Once it touches, don't push any more. Otherwise, you're going to push in there and you can wipe all your paint off your brush and you got nothing else. So as soon as it starts to take, don't press any more, and then just wand off. Think clouds up and down, off. I don't mind going off there. You know, it's a case of we was looking out the window, the cloud would be out that way. So don't feel you've got to keep everything inside. Okay, so up and down, something like that. Going to blend again. Just going to use my soft brush. Going to use 2 hairs of hair. Just literally winding that round, winding that into it. Just moved out of the way before he told me off. There you something like that. We're going to do some more of that. So swipe, 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 swipe. And just under here, up and downy, ins and outs, coming around. It's not going to show so much there because we're lighter behind, but you know, some of you can see, some of you can't see. We'll see it more when we get down to here. So in there, little blendy, blendy, roundy, 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 softly, softly. Okay, just, we really sort of blend in the base of that. Every now and then we can blend a bit at the top there because you don't want it sort of strong, or I've seen that before, white and down there. Don't want it like that. So swipe, 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 swipe. And over here, maybe. Now you're going to see it clearer because it's against dark. Remember what I said about that? It's either dark to show the light to show the dark. So you can, and I'm leaving little holes in it because you might see through little holes in the cloud. And then up here, around and swirl around. And I'm sort of going straight on there. That's going to give us a little bit more boulder of bashing and crashing going in there. We can do as much as we like. And then, same thing, a little bit of a blend. Just gently, 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 whisper across. On there, here, there. Now if I slightly overlap, if I do another one and I overlap that, that's going to give it some depth. That'll look like layers, yeah? So basically I start on there, and we can sort of just go in there, here and there and here, and it's just literally doop, 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 doop. And I'm leaving some holes and some bits and pieces going on. Little tiny, gentle, gentle, gentle. Just a soft, soft brush. That is soft, soft brush. Coming across there. See, I picked up some and just took it across there. It worked for us. Now I've picked up some of that dark going on there. Might be a bit of a rain cloud going on. See, all these things happen, and I really planned it. So that's it. Some of the things that you don't plan work out best. They really do. So we're about there. We're going to just twirl a little bit in there. Nothing else. You could go on forever. We're not going to. We're not going to. But you can see how you can get layer upon layer upon layer, and it just gives it some action there. That's all you need to do in the sky. If that's all you want to do, put that brush down on there. Put that brush down. Pick up. We use this one. What we use for the colour in the sky. We're going to use that for the colour in the water. So I'll let you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 before. This one you want to be sort of looking straight at because you want this quite level if you can. If you can. If you don't, who cares? It's your world. Straight across. Now, literally backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And I'm going to come down. I'm going over the edge. If I've gone a bit wobbly, don't matter, it could be a bit of a splashing and crashing going on, but you pretty much want it as level as you can. If I go down almost a little bit, we're going to put a little bit of beach in, but it doesn't matter, we want it to overlap, the next colour to overlap that one colour. I don't want to come down to there and then there's a line there, then bring our next colour there. Because it's wet, we're blending one into another, we can do that. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of dark in for our wave. We're going to have a crashy wave. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that colour. And crashy wave is going to come over there. Because you, remember what I said about you need the dark to show the light. Yeah, so we need a little bit of this dark in there. So that's roughly where the wave's going to go. So once we put some white on that, then if you didn't, you won't be able to see a lot. Yeah, so pretty much job done on that. We're going to add the white to that. We're going to put the eye of the wave in there, but we're going to put a little bit of a beach in there, which I said there. So I'm going to take a little bit of brown for that. You could use dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I'm coming along, starting at the bottom there. So I've got a tape around there, so hopefully it'll look nice when we take that tape off there. But I'm starting half and half, half on, half off, and then just coming up. You see how it sort of blends in a little bit then with that colour underneath. You can go dark, you can go lighter there, but that's pretty much the base for the bottom part of it there. I'm going to put that brush down. Okay, now I'm going to take, going to do the eye of the wave. Eye of the wave's here. What you got to think of, the eye of the wave is where the light shines through, that bright sort of, it's like someone, I always say, it looks like someone's holding a torch behind there. It's really where the wave comes up, yeah, and then it comes up, and it's the thinnest part of the wave, and it's the light penetrating through there. So I'm going to take a little bit of white, if I can find a place, put that down, and I'll take a little speck of yellow because I want to. But you don't have to. And I'm going to take a little tiny bit on the very tip there. Now I'm going to work out where the eye of the wave is, and I'm going to start in that top area there, which would be that thinnest part there. That's going to be the brightest there, and I'm twirling round, working my way down, and I can make it lighter if I want to. If I'm looking there and think, actually, I want it really in my face more, then I can just take a little bit more. But I wiped it first. Don't go bang straight up in there, because you will brick up this dark and you will darken that down. So it's a case of wipe off before you go on. And I'm not going back. If that needs blending, well then I will wipe off and go back and blend. But if it doesn't, leave it. But you will. See, I'll show you. As I go back up there, see I'm taking the dark up there. We don't want that, so always remember, wipe off, put it back on, start back up there, and then work your way down. We're going to do something to that to brighten up anyway, but we just want to get that light in. Okay, now, what we're going to do, okay, going to take our knife, we can put on a little bit of liquid white, and we can push it, the sun's there, so we get a few little zings perhaps coming from there, and it might be bouncing through. Always wipe off, because you will pick up the dark colour underneath. So I'll just take a few of that, bing. And I'm sort of heading towards there, we're going to come down that way. You could put, hang on, take some more liquid white in there, put that on there because I'm running low. You could, because it's pretty much not a lot happening in there, but you can see where I've brush strokes the same way, so you've got the lines already. So you could just put a few little splishes and splashes going on, something in there, as much as few as you like, And then if I want to blend it in, I'll just keep going like that, keep blending it away if I don't like it. Oh, it's nice, so I got lucky. Nice little splash over there. So, right, then we want to go into the brush. We got the white on. I can take a little bit of liquid white on that brush. What we're doing is we're thinning down some white paint. Remember, thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So what I'll do then is I'm going to literally just touch above there, because that's the dark, and go whoop, over and I lift off. And I tend to use my whole arm rather than just the wrist. If you just use the wrist, what you can do is you can end up touching lightly and then go heavier before you get lighter. So when you're using the arm, you can touch on there and you can literally come off almost straight away. And that's what we're sort of looking for. We want to see that comb-like edge, yeah? So that's the heaviest. As you start to move it, it gets less and less and less. I'm picking up the dirty colour, so I will go back in there, wipe off. Across the top, we can just splish and splash, a little bit of something going on. But I want a little bit of a shadow part. So I'm leaving a bit of a line for shadow. And you don't want this all the same. And what you don't want, and I see it so often, is this line straight, like you put level on the top of there and it just doesn't look right. This wants to die off because it just looks so much, even if it's sort of splashing up a bit there, but basically what you want it is it's like it's flat and then it's just come up and crashes over, so it sort of dies back. You definitely don't want it where it's higher though. That's a no-no. So what I do, take some more liquid white, a little bit of that colour there, and we're going to touch on that and see we've got the front of the waves crashing over and it's like a tube. Yeah, they call it a tube, yeah. So what we want to do is we want to do the back end of the tube, and literally the highest point of the tube would be there. As it comes back, it lays flat. So we can start there, just touch on there, come around, it's like reverse C, zoom, back that way, back that way. And then as you start to come this way, it gets flatter, 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 flatter. So over here, it's just perfectly flat. Now we've got to put a bit in there, but because we went to there around here, this bit here would actually start up over there. So we can't do that because we don't want to wipe out what we've done. So you've got to think in your mind's eye, right, I'm coming from there, but actually I can only start from there. That's where you're going to see it from. So it's just literally zook, zook. And let's go, let's go.
Kirk,
Yes,
I have a question for you.
go on.
Pamela wants to know what size your large bushes are.
My larger, what I tend to use on this, because this is a 16 by 20 canvas, I tend to use just the 1 inch. I find the 1 inch is more than ample. If I was on a big canvas, I would have a 2 inch, yeah. The blender one, the little blender, I'm only using part of the brush on this one, but this is like a 2 inch. Yeah, but we only use part of that brush. So it's 2 inches, but we're only using, say, ½ inch of that brush.
Thank you.
Okay, so down to that point there. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to waste that bit of white under there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the sandy bit look a bit wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that brush, think of the sun there, coming to there, right about to there, a touch pull down, and then it will be less and less and less and less and less. Turn it round. And remember the waver. Remember, if you're standing opposite a body of water, tallest telegraph pole in the world, the emphasis in the water would be a straight line. That would be the emphasis, but it gives it some of that because the water's moving. So what we do here, we just give it a little tiny, gentle side to side stroke. So emphasis on the down, less on the across. But you must do it, must do it. Okay, so now, what we're going to do is we're going to do the crashing on here. We actually do the crash and bash. We're going to put a rock in, but we have to put the crash and bash before we put the rock in, because if you put the rock in and then try and put the crash and bash behind, it's not going to work. So you have to think to yourself, okay, so what we can do, you could do these things with lots of different brushes. But we're just going to use these for today. And this is the oval. Yep. And we're just going to tap. Right? And how we load it is exactly how we're going to put it on there. So you load it like that. That's exactly how we're going to put it on there. So lightly, first of all, tappy tap tap. Might be a bit over there. Don't lose all this dark. You want it's the dark to show the light, light to show the dark. That's how it works. So if you go crash across there, you can take some of it, but then what you're going to do, remember it's going to hit the rock and crash backwards. So as you start to come backwards, you get lighter, lighter. So it just ends up like a mist. Yeah, so it's just a mist. So the real crashy bashy is here, and then gentler, softer, softer, softer from there. Yeah, you with me? I quite like that. I'm happy. So he does a bit more. So what you can do, you can have a little tap, just blend that, and what you can do, up and downy, bit up and downy, and then you can come back and give it a little bit of a layer. So you've got another little layer of splashing. So what I did was blended that and then do a little bit more, but not losing that a bit of blend you did. You can just tap on that, soften that down, soften that down. Let's go. Okay, so now we're going to put a bit of a rock in there. So that tells you what we're actually crashing against. And we've got to make sure that you don't come too high, because then you lose all your splashing and crashing. So it really governs you. If you want a great big rock, then do a lot more splashing and crashing. Just sort of have it roughly worked out in your head. So what we're going to do, we're going to use, if I can find it. Okay, I'm going to go back to that filbert brush. we've got a bit of white and a bit of yellow. I'm going to pinch that out, just take that colour off, because I'm going to go into a little bit of brown both sides, and I'm actually going to sort of scoop it like ladle. I'm going to sort of ladle it up, so I've got more of a dollop of paint on there, dollop. Yeah, and then I go on. I'm going to paint on that tape. Oh, that tape's coming away, but I'm literally starting over there, and that's always a good thing. So I can sort of come up and down and think rock and how it's going to go, and then sort of level that. We haven't got a great big rock in there. We'd come up higher, but basically it's just a bit of a rock. So we can go up higher, but we're going to lose it and go away with it. And this sort of comes around, and I'm sort of rolling it as I do it, and you're getting all those different colours and things sort of coming off, and this is pretty much sort of level down here. I can bring it down a fraction more, so we got like the railroad effect, so a bit of you know, perspective wise, you want it sort of going a little bit that way, so then it looks like this is a little bit closer to us. Don't go crazy with that, but just a little bit. So up and down here, leveling off, something like that. I'm happy. I'm happy. Then what you can do, put that down, we'll reflect a little bit of that into the sand and water on there. So what I'll do with that is actually just pinch a bit, come down. Pinch a bit, come down. Pinch a bit, come down. Then wipe off, because we will have a lot of dark on there. And then gently, just 2 hairs and some hair, just coming across there and just diffusing it, giving it that little waver. Cool, I'm happy. So what we're going to do now, put that down, take my knife, and we want some water splashing up against the base of there, and we can come back. So I'm going to go through a little bit of liquid white. I'll sort of start here, and I'm going to sort of backwards and forwards zigzag back down there. So I'll sort of start there, backwards and forwards. I'm sort of laying it, flattening it off. Yeah, so as I did that, I sort of started at that angle, but of course it's taking it off, and so I have to lower it as I'm doing it, because each time I'm doing that, it's taking a little bit extra off of the back there, so I end up down there, and really flat. So it goes like that. If you just do this, or if you go on there like that, you're just going to get a big dollop. So you don't want that. Okay, and then you can just literally come across there. Oh, bit of brown in there. I'm not panicking, because it could be a bit of mud going up there. And what I'm doing is I'm sort of starting level as it would be on the, because this is quite flat, this only thin water there, so that's going to be flat. It's going to start to, if I go back there, it'll start to hook up on that, where that water goes. So it starts, I've got brown on that canvas, that's what it is, the palette rather. It's not a big deal. Okay, scoop a bit of that, put it somewhere safe, there you go. Okay, so from here, and what I want to do is, because where I started with that, I want to really sort of finish that edge off, and it sort of sinks that reflection in the wall. So I'll put a little bit of liquid white on there, start up above there, and then literally cut the edge of that off. And then it puts it in the sand. Wipe off. I'm going to take see what I'll do. I'm going to take a little bit more there, because I've got a little brown over there. I can take a bit of that, just give it a bit of substance. A little bit more on there, and literally just careful when I go through there, because it's going to disrupt that bit of. And see what I'm doing is I'm literally a lot of false on that, a lot of falsing that down on there, and then wipe off, because I'll pick up the brown there. You can fiddle and diddle with that. If you got your little liner brush, you could go into the liquid white, and then I sort of roll it through there, and you can literally just put in as many little bits of it. You can spend all day doing that. We're not going to do it, but there, and that, you know, just wherever you want, you know, if you want to get busy with it. If I go up here and grab a little bit of that, I've got to still remember the shape it's going. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find a little bit of that darker colour on there. Ooh, in there just to show through that. This is, this is daring to say the least, but I'm not going to do too much of it. You can see a few little things, and so just some little ripples and bits and pieces there. So as I say, you could spend all day doing those bits and pieces. Up to you. Reference, always good to have reference. If you've got a photograph, then you can follow that photograph, and work from there. Lots of times you do anything, oh, do they really look like that? But yes, they do. But you don't know till you look at your reference. So,
Kirk,
yes.
is that a good place for a break?
That would be a wonderful place for a break.
Okay.
See you soon.
Let us bring out the artist in you. If you'd like to learn how to paint or improve your painting, the SAA is here to inform, encourage, and inspire you every step of the way. When you become an SAA member, you get so many benefits, including the free bi-monthly newsletter Paint, packed with inspiring step-by-step projects, fascinating articles, and detailed information to get your creative juices flowing. Discounts on over 13,000 art products featured on the SAA website and in the Home Shop catalogue, with free order line and free delivery in the UK mainland. A devoted SAA team on hand to answer your questions and give you the confidence and motivation you need to start painting and develop at a pace that suits you. Plus, a free welcome pack filled with gifts and practical help to get you started, as well as the opportunity to make friends with like-minded people.
Best thing about being a member is the inspiration from the magazines, to be able to purchase things at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, you get the reduction on all the materials, the advice you get.
I could shop from home.
It's a community.
It seemed like a very friendly sort of organisation.
If somebody's thinking of joining, don't spend too long thinking. Just join. They'll love it.
And we're back.
Hello again. Okie doke then. So basically, with this, you could stop anyway. You could stop there and say, "Oh, that's a finished painting." We're not going to do that because I want to show you some more bits and pieces there. What I'm going to show you is what I sort of worked out with doing dicky birds. And I never liked the M bird, never really done it for me. And it was just something different I'd done for one of the painting holidays that I did. I thought, well, we'll try something different. And it seemed to work, and I've been using it ever since. If you want to know anything about my classes, my painting holidays, anything like that, Kirk Glander, www.kirklander.co.uk. And have a look on there. You can see some of my work on there, some of the students' work. Now, what I've done, I've got a little filbert brush I found for this. Works well. So basically, ignore the handle. If it looks like that at the top, it'll work. So what I've done is I've put some thin medium there. So I've got some thin brown, and I'm literally both sides getting it so it's nice and flat, nice and sharp edge. So watch what we do. So what we do is we do a nose, and then we do like a Spock or Chinese eyebrows there, and let's get another, because we've got to keep it sharp because then that works better. And we just go touch on there and flick outwards, touch on there, flick outwards. Okay, then what we're going to do, we'll do another one of them. Actually, we'll do two more of them because they do say working free is not in half. Just touch there for the nose, and then just look eyebrows, think where the eyebrows will be. That's it. On the other side, we have one over there. And what I'm doing is I'm actually putting my arm there and I'm leaning on there. So that's giving me support on there. So whatever way you do it, if you do it like that and you put on there, whatever you want, whatever you need, and it's just a touch, and then literally flick there, flick from there. Okay, now what I do then is I wipe the brush. I go into liquid white, so a thin white paint, and I do the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I touch the top of the nose, and then I come up and I go through and lift off as I'm doing it through the eyebrows, or as we know they are, wings. So touch there, from there, touch up, if it goes up, up and out, sook. And they work. And they work. So touch the nose, top of the nose, up through the, there. I'm not even gonna clean that, look at that. Does it not work? Absolutely. Little like, remember, don't lean on it because it's a wet canvas, but I can literally just touch on there, touch through, go through, touch on there, through. And sometimes it looks like the bird's coming towards you, sometimes it looks like the bird's going away. So if it works, it works. Okay, so that's how I do my dicky birds. After that, we look, do we need any more? No, we don't, but we're going to put some more in. So what we'll do is we'll put a palm tree, and you could use the filbert, that would be fine. Of that I'll go brown both, so we make up a little bit of a highlight colour, and that's basically a little bit of yellow ochre, white, brown. Don't overmix it, just some light colours there. I'm going to go through brown one side, brown the other side, then I'm going to swap one side through light. One side dark, one side light. So then what I'll do is now, big decision. Okay, we might lose our dicky bird there, we don't know. Touch on there lightly, lightly, lightly. Heavier as we come down, heavier as we come down, comes across there, over there somewhere. Okie dokie. We're only going to put one in because I only want one. I like them as they are. Okay, now what I'll do, find a brush. Let's find a fan brush. Okay, what I can do then is I can go into a bit of brown, a bit of green. We don't care, anything that's left over. But I'm wiggling it to that sharp edge. Now, what we're going to think of, if the wind's blowing that way, we're going to sort of touch on, touch on, and that's sort of coming from, we're just sort of working out roughly where we want it. And then what I do is I touch and pull off. I touch, lift and pull. So we could do bigger than that if we see, but literally just touching, pulling. But it's the way the wind's blowing. So if the wind's blowing that way, I'm going to pull it that way. Don't pull them all different ways. Even if at the angle, even if it's pointed that way, you're still pulling back because that's the way the wind's blowing. Yeah. Touch on there, on back. I can put more in. I ain't gonna. I'm quite happy with that because I think this is a nice simple sort of painting there. We could put another one in there, but then we're going to go through there, we're going to go there. I don't think so. I'm happy. Let's have a look. We can always do something like that. Grab to up there. See, sometimes less is more. I'm quite happy with that. What do you think, Gary?
I love it.
Good. Call that done?
Yeah.
Thank you. And get onto them, get me back. So hopefully I'll see you again. Take care.